welcome to another episode of In My Opinion. We are finally live and we're really starting right now.
We have been behind the cameras like trying to work out everything for a very long time. But we are finally going to start. Today's episode is a little bit different. As you guys can see, the screen is clearly very crowded because there's way too many people in this way too small room.
Yes.
So there's we have the people from SrslyAPodcast.
Yes.
And basically they do stuff like love related stuff, and that's why we thought that today will be a good time to talk about that.
Yes.
But before that,
right, don't remember to follow us on Instagram, all that kind of thing. But I realized there's one thing that we have not done. Let's go one round and tell everyone that's watching what our names are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We always forget.
So as I was saying, my name is John.
My name is Lester.
Hi, I'm Simran.
I'm Rain.
I'm Liz.
Yes, and we have them on our podcast today. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about what Seriously does.
Go, Rain, go.
Okay. We talk about everything to do with sex, relationships, and sexuality. And
Is that why SRS?
Yeah, correct. SRSLY.
Oh.
Sexuality
I
with
didn't
the
know that.
LY.
Right.
Yeah, so it makes the full. Seriously. Yeah, and we are also currently branching more into issues that millennials talk about that affect our lives. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I reached out to them because I saw them on like TikTok a few times.
Is it?
Yeah, that's how I found out about you guys. I was like, wow, this podcast is like going quite viral on TikTok.
I know.
And
Was
then,
it
Follow
the
our
NS
TikTok again,
thing?
please.
I don't remember which TikTok it was, but it was a bunch of TikToks. Right? And then I was like, yeah, let's collaborate and have them on the show. And here they are. So today we're going to be talking something that's really within their wheelhouse. Not really within our wheelhouse, John and I, because we haven't really talked about it much on IMO.
Yes.
But we are looking to talk about it more. We're going to talk about something related to love. And this one is a little bit of a fluffy topic. Is it fluffy? It's a bit fluffy.
Interesting choice of words. Fluffy.
It's a bit airy. I don't know how to explain. But basically it's like the topic we're going to be doing is how do you know that they are the one?
Right.
Wow, but it's important though.
It is important.
Because it's like you're going to spend your whole life with this person. Right?
Okay, wait. We're gonna break it down because so in Overthink Telegram channel, we actually did a poll about whether people believe in the one in the first place.
Yeah.
And then we realized that a large overwhelming majority said no.
I said no also.
You said no also?
I
Wait.
kind of agree too, yeah.
Okay, wait, why?
I feel like there are a lot of people who can be to sum up, I feel like there are a lot of people who can be the one as long as they're willing to work it out with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people nowadays, if something goes wrong in the relationship, they just leave, and it's very easy for them to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, it's a bit different. I told John this story before.
Yeah.
But it's like it's thanks to a teacher. So I used to be a very, very romantic person. And like I used to be because I had a Tumblr account, and my theory is that if you have a Tumblr account, your romance life is pretty much screwed for at least a good few years. Because they set you up for failure.
True.
It's just how it is.
No, it's true.
Is it because they romanticize everything?
Yeah, correct.
I'm like that too.
So my teacher came out to me and I was dating someone at the time, and she's like, do you think you're gonna marry her? And I said, yeah, hopefully lah. Then she's like, then he told me, you won't marry the person that's best for you. You'll marry the person that you are together with when you're ready to get married. And at the time, 16, 17-year-old me was extremely offended. And I was like, who does this 30-year-old man know? He's jaded. Don't come and like ruin my positive outlook of life. But then like as I grew older and go through more relationships, I start to understand
As
why.
you approach his age,
Yes.
you approach his level of understanding.
Oh, but I think it's that thing where like they say there's always this thing that I see online, right?
Yeah.
Where they are talking about how a guy can date a woman for 10 years and not change and not do the things that she wants, but they can date someone else for like 6 months and get married.
Yeah.
Have you all seen that before?
I have not seen that.
No.
That's interesting.
I mean,
I've seen it in real life. Like when my friend dates someone, he can be like a total like jackass, but then when he's with like someone else, he can like completely change and be like someone who I didn't even expect this side to be brought out of him, and like that girl actually makes him a better person.
Right.
Yeah.
So wait, but that doesn't mean there's like only one person that can do that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I saw this video that day on YouTube with like my current partner.
Yeah.
Like he was watching it and like I overheard, and then it's something about like monogamy, and like they were saying like monogamy is an invention that was created by humanity, and it's actually like not normal. and that like it's okay to like want multiple partners rather than to just be like stuck with one person forever, just because like that's what the norm is doing.
Yeah.
And I think like that's why a lot of people have been like exploring like polyamory or like open relationships, because I think like more people like want to explore their options and are
Right.
like more open-minded about that.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that I'm as open-minded as that lah. It's just that like I haven't really like
I mean,
tried it
Yeah.
before.
we are actually doing live on Twitch right now for the YouTube frogs out there, YouTube folks. And I think her boyfriend literally said, I watched those bits to psycho her. Great job, guys.
That's his sense of humor.
But I think, wait, Liz, okay, you guys don't see this, but Liz is literally blocked by a computer screen
Yeah.
within John and I, so we're not looking at her at all. So, wait, you haven't talked, do you believe in the one?
No.
No.
Wait, no, why not?
Oh no, I realized I'm in a relationship. Yes, I do.
Oh no.
It's okay, he's asleep, guys. He doesn't need to know.
Okay,
Wait.
but see, we are all in relationships.
Yeah.
Like the three of us are in relationships.
Actually, all
and-
5 of us.
All 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and y'all believe in the one as well.
I mean, we'll let Liz answer
Yeah.
first.
I'm not sure. I think it's very hard to say. I feel like you can go into a relationship thinking they're the one and then have like shit hit the fan and then have it go like
Oh,
completely downhill really quickly. So I think I take the one with a pinch of salt.
Right.
Actually, that's very beautifully said. I agree with her.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what.
It's okay. It's okay. Neither did I.
Okay, my opinion is very simple. I don't believe in the fact that there is the one.
So I don't believe in
Yeah.
one that's meant for you.
No, because I think that
Yeah, I
is overly subscribing to romanticism.
Okay.
That being said, right, I do believe in treating your current partner or whoever you're getting together with, right,
Yeah.
as the one, as if they were the one. Because like whether this the one exists or not, hypothetically or literally or whatever, right,
Yeah.
doesn't matter whether to the kind of treatment you give them,
Mm.
right? They're separate things. So like I don't believe that there is like the one. I believe we go through many people that we love in our lives, right? And they may work out to be a lifelong partner or not, or they may work out to be a polyamorous set of lifelong lovers, or they may not.
Yeah.
You know, and it does not matter how you treat them, right? But I feel that like the one in that sense does not exist for me, because the thing about it is that like if there is a one, then that's the be all and all.
Yeah.
And if that ends, then what do you do?
Yeah.
That's true.
Right?
And that's why I didn't believe in it, because
yeah.
very early on when in my first relationship, I think my girlfriend at the time was like she couldn't commit knowing that I was her only boyfriend, or like her first boyfriend. She couldn't commit based on that.
Yeah, there are a lot
Which-
of people who
A lot of people have that
Yeah.
problem.
Which I get it lah. But at the same time, I was like thinking like, I do think that thinking that there will be only one person that completely fits you and everything, right, will make you just keep hunting, and like I think it's a lost cause.
I can see how that might lead people into like a spiral where they keep
Yeah.
hunting.
Yeah.
But I think the more unhealthy trait, right, is the fact that you think there is a final destination.
Yeah.
Like I give you an example, because you talk about if people ever do subscribe to romanticism, and I'm pretty sure those of you that are listening in, a number of you probably do, right? So I mean, just to address those that are on Twitch right now, we're streaming on Twitch. If you all got any comments, please leave it. We would like to hear what you all think. But come back to my point. If you believe that there is the one, right? You believe this very hyper romanticized thought, right?
Yeah.
Let's do a thought experiment. Okay, let's talk about ourselves right now today.
Yeah.
Right? And then ourselves 5 years ago. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that you are very different people from you were 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? Extremely different, right?
Yeah.
So how will your the one still be the same the one?
Mm.
Right?
Unless they change the same level as you.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if you change as a person,
Yeah.
your partner, if it's the one, must change equal amounts in the same direction.
This is coming way too mathematical.
No, and
But that's not
that's not
possible.
possible, right? Because
Yeah.
people are people, right? They'll be
Yeah.
a certain way. And the person the preference that you have when you were 5 years ago, the lover you had when you were 5 years ago,
Yeah.
may not be a good fit 5 years later.
Yeah, I think it's quite different. And I
Yeah.
think that's why we don't really believe in the one per se. And I think most people our age will probably agree,
Yeah.
because life has gotten the better of us.
No, and like interestingly enough, I feel that like the reason why we perceive ourselves as more enlightened in terms of not falling for the one thing, right, is because we are also the offspring of families who have succeeded and failed in
Mm.
having the one.
Mm.
I mean, the number of broken families and number of friends we know with broken families are so commonplace that it's not news to any of us anymore.
Mm.
And that is a very clear indicator that the one does not exist.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think the one in our case then would just be the one that we choose to spend our lives with.
Yeah.
Like
I think
what Rin was saying.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like whether you choose to. I mean, obviously, the goal for me at least would be
Yeah.
to spend your life with this person. But
Yeah.
there is the one, and how do I explain this? This is so confusing. The one you choose.
The
No,
terminology
no,
is
as in,
confusing
like-
you.
As in, like, you can have the one,
Mm.
but that person, right, that you think of as the one is someone that is willing to try to always work things out.
Oh.
So in that sense, if there's anyone else who is always willing to try to work things out, then there's other the ones.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So there's no one lah.
Yeah, there's no one singular person.
I
Yeah.
think the one, if you
Yeah.
want to have that, right, it's like a standard that you can have your partner strive towards.
I guess.
You know, and that is something that you can try to use that to reason out your decision making on whether you want to spend the rest of your life with this person
Mm.
in a monogamy sense, right? And that's fine,
Mm.
right? But
Yeah.
the thing about it is that you cannot expect that that's the immediate outcome. People are people, right? You cannot expect people to become who you want them to be.
Yeah.
They can only be themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And themselves is fluid.
Yes.
It keeps changing.
Because you change as people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think to most of us, then the one will just be the one that we choose to marry or the one we choose to spend our
Yeah.
lives with.
Mm.
And that can come with a lot of different factors, which is the topic today. So let's go into it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are so I was discussing with them over Zoom for
Yeah.
this episode, and we were talking about like what are the factors or what we look for in a life partner, because on Overthink chat, someone actually wrote a whole long message and some people had some discussion about it.
Mm.
You guys can join the Overthink chat if you haven't. So I was just wondering like what are your criterias
For the one.
for the one that you choose to spend your life with.
Right.
Wait, how old are you guys?
Quite young, 21, 22.
Okay. I think
Same.
no, John just turned 30 like last week.
Yeah.
So John, I think this
No, but before
question
we
you
go
probably
into-
talk about it more though.
I definitely have. And before I give my answer, let me just address something that was brought up in chat, right? So is cereal soup _ asks, do you think quote unquote the one is synonymous to Mr. or Mrs. Perfect?
Actually, I kind of have like an argument to that. Cause like I have two sides to this. Like as much as I don't believe in the one, I also kind of believe that there's someone who like will make you feel things that no one else can. I just don't describe it as the one. I just describe it as like a love that's insurmountable. But the thing is, why does love need to be perfect? That's like my question.
Right.
Because like, why is it like dictated that whoever you choose to partner up with has to be perfect? Because
Yeah.
like, why can't it just be someone that like it makes you feel amazing and makes you feel like you can like dominate the world together and like I don't know lah. Love is very strong. Love is very powerful. So like to me, I feel like Mr. and Mrs. Perfect does not necessarily mean the one.
What if this perfect is used in the sense of like perfect fit
Maybe.
for you, right?
I mean, again, there's no such thing as perfect lah, but maybe
Yeah.
That's
best.
true.
Let's
Best
just use the
fits.
word best.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's such thing as perfect or even a perfect fit. I think there's bound to be like
I think we're taking the Mr. and Mrs. Perfect too literally.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the questions about like your criteria and what
Yeah.
you look out for still kind of stands
Mm.
and holds. So John, I think you have thought about this the most.
I
given
like
that-
Sharma the Lama's comment about this. It's like I would think it's Mr. and Mrs. Perfectly imperfect.
He always says that, but yeah.
But it's very cute.
But I think as much as it's a very kind of cliche saying, I think it sums it up very nicely. Because being able to put in the term imperfect is to recognize that like people are flawed as shit.
Yeah.
everyone is
Right.
flawed lah.
We're just flawed as shit.
Yeah lah.
Like
And-
just today he forgot to order dinner for me.
Right,
I
just
think that
today
was on
he
purpose
came
lah,
30
guys.
minutes late.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? It's like this kind of things, right? But like the thing about it is that like nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, and having the imperfection sort of fit your imperfection like a puzzle piece, I guess that's the best you can hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that.
So what's the puzzle piece you look for?
Okay, personally, criteria wise for me, right? When I was younger, I used to have like very, like ideal type kind of criteria.
Yeah.
Like the unicorn, you wish upon a star, appear in the movies kind of criteria. So I used to have 3 very basic criteria. Short hair, sporty, can hold argument with me.
I know all of this for some reason.
Yeah, because that is like when people ask me what's the ideal type, right? Then I'll tell them the ideal type. But the thing about it is that I have come to a point in my life where I realized that ideal type, right, is too idealistic in the sense that like I am putting firstly a unreal standard on what I want my partner to be, and secondly, it has none of that has anything to do with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a major factor of deciding the criteria of who you want to spend the rest of your life with. Not just the person you want, but also it's important to encompass the person you want to be. Right? You think about it because you talk about partnership, you know, especially a lifelong one, right? You want to find a partner that fits you, but who is you? Right? You
Okay.
can't just think of all the things that positive traits that people can give you.
But you never think about like how
What are
you
the-
can
Yeah.
attract those positive
Exactly.
traits. Okay.
Right? And you didn't that like the thing about it is that you need to understand a lifelong partnership is two ways.
Yeah.
Right? And if this criteria and all that kind of thing never considers how you are,
Yeah.
then you will never be able to attain this unicorn ideal. And the first step actually is to drop the fact that you think that ideal exists.
Okay, so you don't have a set of criteria now.
No, I don't really have a set
So
of
it's more of like
criteria.
a vibe thing.
Yeah, I believe in this all comes down to the core of my understanding of relationships. Okay. I don't believe in falling in love. I believe love and a loving relationship is something you develop and grow into.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
To get as close to the one as possible.
Yeah.
And get as close to being the one for them as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that does not happen because y'all cross paths, then slow motion, and then got music blowing in the background and the wind blow their hair. No, that does not work. It does not exist like that. We don't fall in love, right?
Yeah.
And that's the basis of why I have no criteria. I always believe in working it out and then see whether it works out.
Okay.
You know?
What about
And
you guys?
so I guess there's only one criteria.
Yeah.
Someone who's willing to accept that train of thought and work it out with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys though?
Liz, you wanna go first? Me.
They are like bouncing off each other
Okay,
right now.
Green
They
Wood.
just don't want.
I'm thinking
No, I mean,
still.
I see.
You had a month to think about this. We said this a month ago, guys.
I'm very complicated. I don't even understand myself.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Maybe tell us the criteria right now because that one's the most applicable. We
Do you
can't
have a
think big
criteria right
picture,
now?
right?
Do you have
Do you have a
criteria?
checklist?
Man, okay. If I'm like processing my thoughts now,
Yeah.
I would say that like because I'm so young, like I just turned 22, right? I feel like every year, if you ask me my idol one, it's like constantly changing, right? But I guess like for me, I am a very romantic person at heart. Like, I think because I grew up watching a lot of like romance films and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm currently binge watching Lucifer, which is not good lah.
It's
The
because
love
Tom
that
Ellis
they
is
have
hot.
on the show.
Yeah.
No, but the love that they have on the show, they depict it to be so romanticized and that like God literally made them for each other. It's
Yeah.
crazy. That like it makes you overthink also lah. Like you kind of do want something that powerful. Like me
Can
lah.
I stop
me.
you there, right? And then ask you that you're saying that your criteria changes every like year, right? Is that what you say? Yeah.
About the yeah.
And you've been with the same person for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So how does that work then?
I don't know. I mean, I guess cause like I'm not a very impulsive person. Like I'm not just going to like up and leave just cause like you are not perfect. Cause I don't believe in perfect, like I mentioned, right? So it's like maybe like every year I might look out for something different. But if the person in general still makes me feel whatever I want to feel, cause I mentioned earlier that for me love is like about a powerful feeling that you feel, like someone that makes you like you just want to be with them.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
gravitate towards them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, whoever's fallen in love, you do feel butterflies when you think about this person and like this person is very special to you. So I think irregardless of like irregardless is not a word, sorry. regardless of the criteria,
Yeah.
as long as like this person is like good enough for me,
Yeah.
like I wouldn't keep you around if I didn't think that you were an asset to my life.
Yeah.
Vice versa, of course. So like criteria wise, basic stuff. The guy that I'm dating, yeah, he's funny. I always date funny guys lah. Always.
He's commenting
I mean,
a lot
yeah, look
right
at
now.
look at the Twitch.
Is
Look
it Shama
at
the
look at
Lama?
this.
Yeah, Sama the
I'm just
Lama.
gonna ignore that. Yeah, like I usually gravitate towards people who are funny.
Right.
Like I like guys who can like make jokes, very charming guys. Like I like guys who like know how to flirt, cause I like to flirt back. So like you charm me, then we fall in love. You make me laugh, then we fall in love more. And then like serious shit, like I just want someone who's very ambitious. I agree with Rain, cause she like last time we did this TikTok. Then she put like she like men with goals. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like I want someone who like I can build a life with, someone stable.
Yeah.
So you'll never catch me dating like a fuck boy, like never. You'll never catch me dating someone who like spends all their money frivolously and all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
no.
Like it completely cuts me off from them. I'm like, if I'm gonna think long term, if I'm dating you, right, you're probably gonna waste all of our money. We're not gonna like live in a nice house. We're not gonna be like have a good future. So like, nope,
Yeah.
that's completely out of the blue. So someone who like,
show off my bank statement.
ironically, the guy that I'm dating now, right, he's something that I actually don't usually go for, which is like I like
Oh, no.
planners.
No.
But actually, I am the planner in the relationship.
Okay,
So
but
like,
I think that's really interesting because like one of recently, not so recently, but you know, it just strengthened recently
Yeah.
that one of the very important traits for me is compromise.
mm,
And like we need to be able to want to work it out
Work it
lah.
out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there needs to be that common goal to always fix the problem together for me. And if that's not there, then if something comes up in your relationship, then how are you going to work it out? How are you going to make it
Yeah.
past that?
It's true. And I think that also like is one of those like very important things that I've rationalized for myself in my relationships or how I would deal with relationships. We always fix what we can. And if we reach the point that we cannot fix, then we have to accept the inevitable.
Oh my
I
God.
agree with that. But I feel like, okay, sometimes I feel like Rain, right, she tries too hard to fix.
Mm.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I
Yeah,
think if me and her were to just sit down and talk about it, right, I would agree a little bit because
Yeah.
like just because you can fix things with someone doesn't mean that they're good for you.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, like you can have someone who wants to constantly fix things with you, but like if they don't make you happy and if they're not like helping you grow,
Yeah,
No,
then
but-
what's the point of fixing?
I agree.
I feel like if you have to constantly fix someone, then that's kind of a problem as
No,
well.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to know sort of like the limit, right? If the person constantly needs fixing, you need to reach a point whereby you accept when this person may not be fixable by you,
Yeah.
and that's fine,
But
right?
actually, you shouldn't be fixing us.
Or yeah, or they don't need fixing. You just like as what John always says.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like life is like that. You just don't match. Or then
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'll find someone. They will find someone else that is
You need
sucked
someone
up
to
in the
match your
same way as
energy.
them, and they'll match.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like the best way and the most blanket hippie ass way to say it is to find someone that matches your energy.
Yeah, I
You gotta
think that-
vibe with
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, oh my god, I'm
Unfortunately,
gonna
right?
keep it basic. It's just vibes, man.
Wait, Liz? What's your
Huh?
what's
Vibes.
your
What's your
your
criteria?
criteria?
my criteria for like the perfect person.
I guess.
Not perfect.
I mean, no
think about
perfect
it.
person, I guess.
No perfect person.
I mean, I feel like it's really about vibes for me. Like, really, really, really is. And the person I'm dating now,
Pass the vibe check.
he passed the vibe check, but like the
Okay.
one thing that I thought was gonna be damn important is not there. But that's okay. We'll cross
Oh
that
my
bridge when it
gosh.
happens.
Which is
So
what?
cute.
Music.
Music. They don't like
We got
music.
very different music tastes.
Right.
Very, very different. Like,
It's like the unforgivably different kind.
like I like everything, and he only likes one genre:
What's he like?
Which is
hard metal.
Oh my God.
Oh my god, Gabriel also
hey,
eh.
honestly, that's a great genre.
No, I like his
You do
music.
you.
Like, I like his music. I just
Ah.
he doesn't really like mine.
It's not you.
So music taste is one of your criterias.
Because it's like a really big part of my life. So
Yeah.
because of that, it's like inevitable
yeah.
that it's gonna be a big part of my relationship.
Mm.
So like I feel like it's okay if somebody doesn't get along with me. Like if
Mm.
they don't have the same taste, it's as long as you can like they're not gonna judge the taste.
Yeah.
I think that's the important part. Like if I'm gonna play my music out loud, because if you want to think about it long term,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking about this in the terms that if I'm moving overseas, I'm living alone.
Yeah.
The odds of him visiting me are very high.
Mm.
And I'm the kind of person that's gonna play fucking loud music around the house.
Yeah.
So if you cannot tolerate that, that is gonna be an issue.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But do you think
Yeah.
that could be something that people grow into? Because
That's
you know,
true.
yeah.
So that's why I'm like kind of not really thinking about it and just letting
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah.
Because it's not a huge problem. But I feel like as long as y'all have the fundamentals of getting along, then you can kind of grow off that. But I agree with a lot of what Rain said.
Mm.
The communicating part.
Mm.
The compromising thing.
Compromise. Yeah,
Ah,
I believe that in all relationships, there are two main things: communication and compromise.
Yeah.
Right? I know at every like boomer speech or wedding, people will. In every relationship, there must be communication and compromise.
Yeah.
The wife communicate, the husband compromise. Then all the boomers will, ha.
Oh my God, I just laughed at it.
Right? No, but the thing about it is that like I agree up to the point where wife whatever lah. But basically
Yeah,
the thing
yeah,
about
yeah.
it is that
Correct
compromise
sentiment.
actually is damn important.
Yeah.
Because you cannot just have your way and they cannot just have their way.
Yes. I agree.
Especially not for everything that or whatever things that are intertwined, right?
Yeah.
And that's where meeting in the middle is very important. You have to understand that there will be times where you have to do things that is not your way.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about it is that people neglect to say this when they're being romantic, right? Would be relationships are hard work.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
And like
It's
if you
very
don't
tiring.
work hard at it, you're gonna end up failing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like an exam.
Mm.
If you
Oh
don't
no,
do your
please don't
practice.
talk about it,
No, but if you think
relationship
about it, right? If you don't do your 10-year series, you're not gonna be able to score well for the exam. And you cannot be like, but I want to score well for exam. But you never put in the work. It's the same for the relationship, right?
Yeah, I think the whole Tumblr thing really messed me up because like there was this whole notion that like love is supposed to be like effortless.
Like they
you
would
meet
just
the
know,
one.
yeah.
You're supposed to be effortless, everything's supposed to fall in place, everything's supposed to click.
Correct.
You want to meet every waking moment. You don't have it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
work.
It's like those like the caption is like when I open my eyes I dream of you. That kind of
Yeah. And here's the thing, they're written by 16-year-olds who don't know what they're talking about. So like
I
just-
think right that first part that you were mentioning about how everything's romanticized, that only comes in like what? At most the first year of your relationship.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
after that it's a
Honeymoon
lot.
phase, yeah.
Yeah.
How long is the
But-
honeymoon phase? What the fuck?
It depends. Actually. For me, it lasted quite long. For me, like not speaking for my partner, but for me, like I was blinded with love for very
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. Is this your first relationship?
Yeah, my first real relationship.
Right.
Wow.
And I think that is the case for the first few relationships in your
Yes.
life.
Yeah.
Because you have no other comparison, right?
Yeah.
So you go into it with all your heart, all your soul, and that's
Yeah.
fine, right? But the thing about it is that I'm not saying that like your relationship is any less than people who have been in multiple. But a lot of times when people go into their first relationship, they go in without the knowledge of how to make things work. But clearly you all have found something that works.
No, but
Yeah.
okay, like if you all listen to the podcast episodes, you all will know that my relationship is not a romanticized one
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Like we went through the hardest things together
Yeah.
and came out, because you're absolutely right. Like as a first relationship, right, I went in not knowing anything,
Yeah.
and I was like completely ignorant. Like I was a shit girlfriend, to speak bluntly.
No, but I'm
because,
pretty
like,
sure that,
yeah.
conversely, he was also a shit boyfriend.
I mean, I guess because like I wasn't doing well for him, so he wasn't doing well for
Yeah.
me. Like our energies were just like really bad for each other.
Yeah.
We were making each other like toxic. But yeah, you're right. Like after you learn and you grow, it gets easier because you kind of like realize love is work, love is
It is.
compromise. But I also like to kind of defend some movies because I also noticed that like if you watch movies that have love, right? Like you do see the characters fighting battles together, like
Yeah.
to compromise for the love. Like it's very rare nowadays, especially nowadays, like to see movies where like the two lovers have nothing to compromise or like work over. And like if I'm wrong, then just feel free to disagree with me lah. But I've definitely watched movies where like both protagonists are like imperfect and you can see it, and that they do fight for the love very hard because like it's a love that they feel is deserving, but it's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I talking so?
It's
I got
good.
really
That's fine.
deep.
Man, I don't even know what my criteria is. It's,
Yeah, what's your
I think my criteria is very oddly specific. I just want someone that's like not very
Cisgendered female. That's all.
no, I just want someone that's like not very specific lah. I just want I think one of the most important things is that you have to be very understanding of emotionalness.
Oh, I understand that.
I mean I suffer from anxiety. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I have some mental health, not now lah, but like in the past lah.
Yeah.
So like being emotional is a very much part of my being. And I think not that I am emotional all the time, but I think that being able to like, I guess, be okay with that, non-judgmental, someone who is like able to support through that, that matters a lot to me.
Yeah.
And if you're not someone that is emotionally capable of doing, not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people just don't want,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But then it'll probably be a not very good match lah.
Yeah, and I think since we're exploring a little bit on like discovering relationships and discovering yourselves,
Yeah.
right, which is something that you mentioned about, kind of fits together with your criteria, right?
Yeah.
We also, I feel that with experience and with growth in a relationship, you will also learn this very hard but valuable skill, and that would be when to identify someone who is not good for you. And I think that's the hardest thing to do in any relationship.
For sure.
Everyone wants your relationship to work, right? No one wants their relationship to fail,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But like that has sort of nurtured in us a thought whereby we think that relationships cannot fail, when that's not right. We all know relationships fail, right? We all know this. And we hence, have educated ourselves from knowing when to call it quits. You think about it, people may do something and it ends up being unhealthy for us. For all other aspects of our lives, it's easier to quit than a relationship.
Yes.
And that's why sometimes we always ask ourselves from outside looking in, why people in certain types of abusive relationship or toxic relationship, why they stay, right? Because it is something that we all don't know how to do, even though it's very valuable to learn.
Is it the what's it called? The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
I have no clue. I never watched
You
it.
accept the
I never
love.
watched that also.
Yeah.
You accept the love that you think you deserve.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's the famous quote. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean I think that's quite true lah.
It is. And like this is something that like I think as you experience more relationships, you will reach a point whereby you realize that every end and every beginning can be as like fulfilling to you, just in different ways. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. I think like I know that the episode so far has been sounding very fluffy, and like most of us don't really know exactly what we want.
I'm quite certain
or maybe
about
we
what I
can't
want.
maybe can't verbalize it as well.
Right.
I think it's very difficult to verbalize into words or like a set list of like checklists and everything. But it is because I think a lot of this does come down to like the feeling lah.
Yeah.
And another big important point for me is that I think I want someone who is able to like push me to be
So like driven
better.
like what Simran said.
Yeah, I guess so. Like the person has to be driven, but I think another beyond that, I think you
Like
also
you want the person to be able to make you want to be a better person, is it?
not want to, but like, cause I think I fall into a trap of being very dreamy and not saying I'm not
Idealistic,
dreaming,
is it?
idealistic. So I get very unrooted from reality very often, and I always go off on like big, artist rambles and shit, and then you don't actually do anything, and that's I think part of my personality and part of creative personality, but like for example my current girlfriend, I think what she does very well is that every time I say like, yeah, I'm thinking of doing this, the first thing you say, just do it. And then like most of the time creatives or other people that I'm talking to won't say just do it. They will they'll I guess fit into that whole like a dream world. And I think it's important that like to me that she like at least try to push me and like say, okay, yeah, do this, go ahead and do this. Like you want to film IMO for a week or you want to do this, you cannot meet me, yeah, sure, go ahead. Go do your thing.
Okay.
And
Like supporting you also.
Yeah. And I think that's important to me also lah. And I mean, of course, beyond that, there are a lot of other things like I'm a very physical touch kind of love language person.
Language, yeah.
I would like hugs.
Yeah.
But that's the
Hugs, please.
hugs plugs. But like that's the more technical side. Lah.
Right.
But I think the core of it has to be like the understanding, non-judgy and supportive person. Which sounds very general. It sounds like pretty much anyone can fit that bill. But as Rain is shaking her head vehemently, says that not everyone will lah.
Yeah, and I think like that will then come to my point about understanding whether this is a good fit. Because like when it comes to compromise, you must understand that you also must do part of the compromising.
Yeah, of course.
Besides them compromising for you.
Yeah.
So if you do understand that this person may check off 4 out of 5 of the boxes that you want, right? Is that 5th box something you can compromise? If it's not, then I hate to break it to you.
I think
Yeah.
you guys to go both ways also lah. So like for me, like I also won't want a relationship where I'm taking all the time and I'm not like helping. Then I don't think it feels as good as if it's like a mutually good relationship or a healthy relationship. I think that's another important thing lah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Healthy relationship, I think, is something that right now I'm quite glad, right, that more people are starting to realize is the most important thing in a relationship. Not so much finding the one for you.
Yeah, I think I'm moving away from that lah, which is good, I guess. But I mean, going back to the whole topic about how you know you found the one. I feel like we haven't answered that.
Yeah, I don't. Funnily enough, I find that question really hard to answer. The more I think about it, the more I overthink about it. Hey,
Yeah.
subscribe. The more I overthink about it, I find that answer harder to answer because honestly, if you ask me to give me my very base level answer, right?
Yeah.
I firstly really don't think it exists, right? And secondly, like, how am I supposed to give other answers beyond that?
Okay, how do you know that this person is suitable to be your wife?
We don't know. We grow to that stage. So you start out as level 1, then you all must play the game together until you hit level 50, right? Then unlock marriage. You know what I mean?
So you before you start or before you go on that journey, you will never know.
Do you know
Yeah.
my parents say that, right? Like, I don't know, they keep telling me this lah. But even after you marry someone, it's a very pessimistic outlook. But I think the intention is just to always keep yourself safe, But they tell me that even if you marry this person, right, you might get divorced. Like, look at the divorce rates today.
Yeah.
And look at how many broken families there
Yeah.
are. So how are you supposed to know, even after you have a child, whether this person is right for you?
Exactly. Yeah. And like what we mentioned earlier, right? The person may be right for you now,
Yeah,
right? They may not be
exactly.
right for you 15 years later.
Yeah.
And 15 years later, if you all have a kid, that kid is not even grown up yet,
Yeah.
right? So this is where it becomes like important to talk about these things, especially when you're in a relationship that does not have super major stakes. An example of a super major stake is like a new life. That's
A baby.
super
A
major stake.
child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
that
agree.
child is gonna be the one that suffers, not you,
I agree.
right? You've had your chance to grow up. Yeah.
Man, I think that's what makes life hard and that's what makes love hard, right? Like you never truly know.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, the cool thing about life. You never truly know, but at the same time, that means good things can happen, but you also leave room for bad things to happen.
Yeah.
And I think all we can do as humans in this human condition is to just try our best and work hard.
Palazzi Gabe mentions that society encourages mono relationships because everything is tied to marriage. What do you think?
Honestly, I guess so. Especially in Asian societies.
Mm,
Like
mm.
it's I guess the next stage.
Yeah.
That everybody, you also mentioned this in our episode with you.
Yeah.
That like I see and why everybody asks, like when you're getting married, then when
Correct.
you get married, when you're having babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's like a very traditional Asian mindset.
Yeah.
But I would say in all Asia, we have that sort of ideal that was shaped by our traditions, right? They always expect that the family unit is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Which is why, this whole family thing is very prevalent in Singapore society.
Yeah.
And that's why out of goodwill, they ask you whether you're about to get married within the same breath of asking you whether you've had your lunch.
It's not goodwill though, it's so irritating.
Yeah, it is. It comes off irritating, but it comes from a place of neutral to goodwill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just casual conversation in an Asian context. I feel that there are societies that exist out there where a question like that would be like, huh? Why you ask this kind of question? Right?
Yeah.
It's like how, in some countries, people don't understand why we as Asians like to, you eat already not?
It's a cancel wordy.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right? It's like a
Yeah.
funny question. And I do get that, because we are members of this society, such a pressure exists. Right?
Yeah.
And I do admit that right now, I may not be the person that subscribes to this kind of thinking. Doesn't mean that the rest of the world shouldn't too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with marriage or
Absolutely.
like wanting monogamy also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I mean the whole marriage thing is the whole reason why we even have this conversation. Because people are very scared of marrying the
Yes.
wrong person.
Yes,
People are very
yeah.
scared
Yeah.
of divorce. Whether is it because like Asian society they don't really like
No,
that.
and also because everyone thinks of marriage as sort of like the final
The end
destination.
game.
Mm.
Yeah, the end game for your relationship.
I mean,
Why
honestly,
why do you need marriage, right?
honestly, what's so bad about divorce, lah?
Huh? No.
No, okay.
Like
okay.
it's like ending a
Okay,
relationship.
no, but I do agree with this. That thought just crossed my mind.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what is so
Like,
bad
what
about
is the
divorce?
threat
You don't
of
love the
it?
person anymore.
Yeah, because
It's
like
economically it's like
guess.
shitty lah.
I mean, obviously you pay money to get divorced, yes, and like the assets and like you
I
maybe
see it from a family perspective.
okay if you
Right.
if you
What if
if you don't have kids,
yeah.
then
Then
like
okay
you
lor.
think about it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you were in a relationship with them for maybe say 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
and then you were like, actually maybe it's not working, and then you guys
Okay.
just part ways. It's like a
Okay.
breakup,
Yeah, no, I understand the family.
an
point of view.
overglorified
But if I was
breakup.
single still and had no family, what's
I
so bad
agree
about
also,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, you see. So like people must view divorce and breakups of sort of like the same level.
Yeah.
But why it becomes difficult is because when the other life-changing commitments come in, it could be huge amounts of shared assets. That's very complicated to deal with.
Yeah.
Right? It could be offspring.
Mm.
Right? That's the most difficult to deal with.
Yeah, that's tough.
But before all those things happen, right? Your relationship is essentially is more or less quite fluid.
Mm.
But at the same time, that is also the time for you to work the relationship out.
Yes.
You understand, right? But the problem is why broken families exist, why all this exists, right? It's because prior to family, prior to any other major life-changing changes, right? They didn't work their relationship out. They didn't manage to identify the potential problems. They didn't have contingencies for when they arrive. And then they didn't continue to grow into that future.
So you think the foundation wasn't strong?
Yeah. And after that, when the thing has happened and it's not quite what it's cut out to be, instead of working together to make it so, they didn't work it out.
Wait, but how do you plan for contingency?
No, you must think
how do
about
you
it.
mentally plan to like hate each other in like 6 years?
No, maybe it's not the hate each other thing, but the like make conscious effort to have less conflict points, less points of conflict as your relationship advances. So it could be like, oh, I want to have 2 kids. Then maybe a partner who is enthusiastic about having 2 kids, the other partner is like, not so much, but just go ahead with what they say. Right? It could be a personality thing. But this has never worked out until the 2 kids come out and then eventually it spills over. And then that's when it becomes a problem.
Okay.
And that's why I feel that like relationships have to be worked out before these kind of very major issues.
Or healthy habits. Like let's say mental health wise, like if you want to draw a parallel, like when you're well and you're mentally sound, that's not the right word, but not plagued with mental illness, then it's a good time to like I guess cultivate some healthy habits like thinking habits, thought habits, or habits to like I guess help to cultivate your mind a little bit more and like I guess be more mentally well. Then when it does come to the point where you are emotionally turmoil and like emotionally burdened, then these habits will come in handy and will get you out of it.
I totally
Like,
agree.
the same thing for relationships or like if it's good, if it's going good and
If it's going good, there's never a problem.
yeah, but like I
Right?
guess it's a good time to lay the foundation and talk about communication, talk about all these
About
things.
when it eventually goes to shit. Everyone has to admit that eventually there will be a point in time your relationship goes to shit.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree.
And when it goes to shit, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I like how this whole topic started with how you know you found the one, and then the answer in the end is Lamau, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, why don't before we end we have gone on for quite a while. Before we end, why don't we just go around one time and final thoughts about this whole topic? John, who wants to start? John.
Okay. Before that, let me just address some of the comments because I think
Yes.
you are leaving some fantastic comments here in our Twitch. Palazi Gabe says society encourages blah blah blah, and after that, it's all a societal construct. Okay, and then you ask the question. Okay, but also the fact that kids must be raised in a hetero mono marriage is also like, but why? Right? Will be interesting to learn how this developed anthropologically speaking. Okay, I think like I totally agree with the fact that it's a societal construct. Society is very tied to this form of relationship that is basically all we've known for
No, that's not true.
Ooh.
Mono relationships.
yeah.
There in the olden times there were so many like families with multiple wives. Right?
No, I agree. But the
Concubines.
prevailing amongst the lowest common denominator people, most of the time were valuing the monogamous relationship.
I feel like maybe now lah, but like my great grandfather still had like don't know how many wives.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe I'm not familiar. with that.
Maybe we think it's very far away, but it's actually not that far away.
Yeah, it's not that far away.
Maybe it's not that far away.
Maybe.
But like clearly it is near enough that the influences are still felt today.
Yeah.
Right? That people still hold that as the high standard of how a family should be. Right? So much so that like anybody who says anything else is met with often disdain and like discomfort. It feels like infidelity and things like that, right?
Yeah.
And that is like an example of how tradition is making things difficult for people to understand. And so much so that people are not even encouraged to understand, to learn about it.
Yeah.
You know, because if you do want to have a monogamous relationship, what's wrong with understanding the benefits of another kind of relationship?
Yeah. I
Because
mean,
if
it
you
doesn't
do
matter.
understand, and then you will realize which is for you.
Yeah. And I think everything is a social construct if you think about it. I don't think being a social construct is necessarily a bad thing or immediately everything's a social construct is fine. But I mean, it is important to understand when things you take for granted as or like a given may not be really a given.
Yeah.
Then you start to think about like other options and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like things like, let's say having a kid, like a lot of people take it for granted that one day you're just gonna grow up and like 30 years old you're gonna have a kid. But then you have to start thinking like why and how does having a kid, is it really just giving birth the natural way? Can it be adopting? Can it be every other option? So it is good to think of things as societal construct, but I think maybe not in the way of like because it's a societal construct is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because not all societal constructs are bad. It's
Yup.
just it's just how it is. We are society and there will be constructs.
Yeah, and like I mean, coming back to our concluding thoughts about finding the one, I personally feel that I still firmly believe that the one does not exist.
Yes.
But the one can be something that you and your partner strive towards being for each other.
Yes, I agree.
As sort of like a standard, than like finding that completely in one person.
Yes. Yes.
I think I agree that there's no such thing as the metaphorical like one, like the perfect person. But I feel like, I mean, this is gonna sound a bit reckless lah, but I feel like in the moment, if that person is the one, you will know lah. Like, I feel like you have to give it some time. You have to just really figure out whether or not this is somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with, and that would be the one, whether or not they are perfect. Rain.
I agree with everything that John said about trying and like trying to make the relationship work. And I think like a final note for me would just be that whoever I date, whoever I choose, I don't want to regret it, be it whether the relationship fails or not. As long as I learned something from it and I grew from it, then that to me is still worth it.
Yeah.
Like better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all.
Oh my.
Oh Jesus. I
It's
saw it. I
true.
saw a Tumblr quote in
But it's
up
true
here in my
lah,
head.
it's true lah.
That's from a book, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
Probably a
it's
Tumblr quote too.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of California and the
Seen that
just
on
girly
Pinterest.
things.
Simran?
I think like because I can't even list traits, right? I think if I was to sum up, like talking to Liz about it that day, she was telling me something about how like marrying your best friend is like a thing. And I kind of agree. Like to me, like I'm not sure what I want yet, but like all I can say now that I want is that whoever I choose to end up with, right, I want that person to be like my best companion. Because if we're gonna grow together, I want you to be someone who I can trust.
Yeah.
Who I know is gonna accept me for all of the flaws that I have, and who's going to take care of me, and who's not just gonna bail out on me the moment things get hard. Like, yeah. So that's like, in essence, all that I could ever ask for from the one. Whether they're like not funny, not fun, whatever. Maybe at the end of the day, those things are more important than those other qualities. Yeah.
Those sound like wedding vows.
For me, I said this before, but like I think there's no such thing as an objective truth. And there are a lot of that's the whole point of being human, is that everyone thinks of certain situations and different things in their own different light.
Right.
And I think the key is to find other people whose subjective truth is the same as yours, who thinks like who is able to understand from where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Or at least even if they don't, and that's fine. If they don't, at least try. Make the effort. And
Totally agree.
and like communicate, make the effort, and understand that like love isn't gonna like just work out like that.
Yeah.
As much as I fucking wish it did, it doesn't. So there's gonna be work. Sometimes it's gonna be easy. Some not saying that it's gonna be tough all the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes sometimes gonna be easier, but sometimes it's gonna be hard. And if you base off like whether or not you want to be with someone based on just the highs, then I think you're not
gonna have a good time.
You're not gonna have a great time. I think a true test is really like if you're able to stay together in the lows lah.
Yeah.
And that's a good mark of like when you know you're in a healthy relationship.
Yep.
When you can go through the lows and you don't feel insecure, and your partner is still there for you and working hard with you alongside you.
Yep.
And it's hard to get that. You never truly know, but as Michael Jordan once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wow.
Wow.
Dropping all the quotes today.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, shout out. But I think you just have to try. You never really know.
That's the
And
thing.
as much as you are leaving room for bad things to happen, you're also leaving room for good things to happen. So just take that shot.
Yeah, man. And one final thought from Palazzi Gate was tuning in and said there's a really interesting video essay about 40 minutes on polyamory. We'll link it here if you are interested. Please do, by all means.
And we might even cover it in one of the IMO episodes. Actually, that's quite a cool topic. I haven't really thought about it.
Yep.
Maybe we get a guest on, that'll be cool.
And
with that, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. It might be a little bit like a HTHT episode. We are a little bit like more fluffy or in the air right now, but hope you guys still enjoyed it nonetheless.
Yeah, man. And do remember to like us on Instagram, follow us on Telegram, come everywhere, and then our socials. Today we are with Seriously a Podcast. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
us.
So we'll link their stuff down below. They are famous on TikTok.
Yes, and then TikTok don't like them. So that one you can find out a little bit more.
Yes.
Please follow them on their socials.
Yes. And we'll be streaming on Twitch pretty much every Thursdays. Every time we film. Whenever there is. It's going to be very tiring, but we have made a very big investment and we're not planning to lose the investment anytime soon.
Yes.
So do join us. We will be posting on our Instagram. We didn't post today, but we'll be posting on Instagram and we're posting on our Telegram chat as well.
Yes.
So join us. We have a good time. Talk to us and we'll hopefully try to engage with you guys more.
Yeah, man. And if you like this kind of episodes where we talk to other podcasters, other content creators, you can always let us know. Or if you like last week's episode where we talked about really intimate topics, you can also let us know.
Yes. And with that, stay safe. Thank you for watching and see you guys next week.
Get vaccinated, wear masks.
Yes. Bye.